Have you ever eaten Rocky Mountain oysters? Or even know what they are? I'll give you a hint. They come from the south end of a northbound bull. And I'm going to show you the correct way to cook them today. So let's start with, what are Rocky Mountain oysters? Well, Rocky Mountain oysters are the testicles of castrated calves. So that brings us to the first step of what you need to do to cook Rocky Mountain oysters. Number one, you have to castrate some calves. You might think it's cruel to castrate a bunch of calves just to eat their testicles, but that's not what we're doing. Farmers and ranchers castrate 90% of the bull calves anyway, and that's because you only need one bull for every 25 to 40 cows, depending on where they're at and what environment you're in. So they don't need the rest of the male calves, and that's where most of your food comes from, is they're castrated as babies and raised as steers and then butchered for the local supermarket or McDonald's or some other industry that uses beef. You don't leave them bulls because bulls tend to fight each other, knock over things. They're just large, beastly animals that don't do well in a confined area with a bunch of other bulls. And confined area being large areas, they just don't do well in a huge group of other males like that. They have a lot of testosterone, which also kind of taints the meat. So when you castrate them, you're doing that because these are the animals that are going to be used for human consumption. There's two ways to castrate. One is to put a rubber band around the testicles and then wait for them to fall off. This is a total waste of the testicles, but it's much easier to do in some ways and takes a little less skill. The other way to do this is to cut them out, which makes the castration process immediate. And to do that, you take a very sharp knife, you cut the sac, you take out the testicles, and you put them in a bucket, right? Which way is better? I have no idea. But you do end up with a side benefit, which is Rocky Mountain oysters, when you cut them with a knife. So cooking Rocky Mountain oysters, I'm sure there's lots of different ways to do it. The way that I prefer is right at the barn when they're being castrated. Let's ask an old pro how to do this. This is the testicles right here. So what's the secret to cooking these?
Oh, you got a little garlic, little butter, steam them with some beer.
Oh, I see. Yeah, they look good.
Well, they will later. They're not real good now, but
they look like organs at the moment, right?
Yeah, they look like Rocky Mountain oysters raw.
That's right. So these are called Rocky Mountain oysters, if you guys haven't heard of that before. And that means they're kind of look like a little oysters, and they come from the Rocky Mountains. I guess they have testicles everywhere, so I'm not sure why they're called Rocky Mountain oysters. Maybe they started that up here somewhere. How long you been doing that?
Cooking
up the...
Oh man, since before Tanner was born. All my life, I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah, since I can remember.
Just kind of a tradition that you did during branding and...
Yep.
Papa, do you think you're going to be old as 100?
I hope so. I hope not.
Why?
Well, because then it'd be too old. I'm crippled up enough already.
So those cook pretty fast.
Pretty fast, yeah.
Is this his job to cook the Rocky Mountain oysters?
Yeah, he needs help though.
Absolutely, he's got to have.
It's Carson's job.
You can stand up on that and then you can do the stirring, buddy. Oh, you're doing good. You need them all to pop open like that. Just keep stirring them. They'll cook. Remember how they taste? You will pretty quick.
Do you like them?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh yeah. It's a good old earthy smell. That's for sure. It smells very clean though. Really does. It doesn't quite smell like beef though. It's got its own smell, but it's not like a barn smell or anything. Very, very clean. that come right out of a calf's sack just an hour ago or less. Pretty fresh. Don't get a lot of fresher than that. And it's about the only thing I can think of that you eat with the animal still alive. Right, Dave?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else you would eat.
I never thought of that.
With the animal still alive, but there's a food source right there. That the animal still lives.
Yeah, if they just grew them back, we could eat them again.
Exactly.
Almost done.
Almost done.
Ones you get in the restaurant, they're cut from yearling bulls.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
So I know,
Yeah, and then they peel them and clean them all up. And
Yep.
Just kind of eat the insides, try them. They taste a little different than these little strong ones.
Papa, can you taste one?
Yeah, I've eaten them in a restaurant one time, and they were like large nuts that were
Breaded.
sliced.
Yeah.
Yeah, and breaded.
Yeah.
So this is a little different. This is more real and raw, I guess I would say.
Something's done for you.
There, you see this?
Oh, I lost you just in time.
It's hot.
For pictures, maybe. I think you better pour some more of that in there. Pour some more of that on there.
So it doesn't burn. It tastes different than it feels. It tastes kind of like beef. Actually, it's pretty beefy flavor. Kind of like a beef stew kind of a flavor, probably with the beer on there. But it's kind of like eating a spongy tube as well. Right? There's a little tube in there that is more, what would you say? It's not gristly.
Yeah.
It's a little tougher.
5 of them, and then you start throwing that part away.
Oh, did
To
he?
the dog. Yeah, just eat the inside. To start with, I eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Other than the thought of it, which doesn't bother me at all, but some people might bother them. It's actually pretty good. They're just like, there's quite a bit of flavor on that.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
And I couldn't tell you what the flavor was, but it's quite a bit of flavor in it. It's not like there's no gaminess or anything like that.
It tastes like calf nuts.
You know, they taste like calf nuts. That's what it is. That's the flavor I'm thinking of. Tremendously good.
He helped me.
Pink 1822. Should be a P. Let's have a question mark by it.
You have all you want.
P1822. Ha! Beat you.
Had those before.
Not like this, no.
There'll be some left for you. Just
Starving.
Yeah? First need your help. Okay.
Carson needs some milk.
Yep.
Beef.
What?
Baby, yeah. You could use your help.
Pumpkin looks like there's quite a few there.
What do you think? You like them?
Yeah.
Yeah. You had them before?
Yeah.
Since before she knew what they were.
Yeah, that's right.
That helps.
That's what we were talking about in there.
Yeah.
Did you have one yet?
Yep.
TJ,
big
Mr.
one?
Trinity asked you a question. He said you already have one?
Yeah.
You gonna eat that big one?
Yeah.
Or eat the insides out of it?
I eat the whole thing too.
Should be grass this year, no? Unless it just cuts off and gets hot.
And you can tell who taught him to eat them.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Because
see.
some people just take the meat, and some people just slurp up the whole
Yep,
thing.
do the whole thing. Hard to chew it up that way, isn't it?
That would be what his papa taught him.
Yeah.
I like all the stuff inside.
Some of it's a little more chewy that way.
It's like a chewy tube.
That's right.
So they come from right there to right here.
Cut 500 at Skelton's.
they'd have 300 cat, cut 100.
Pretty fast trip too. Did you try them? You eat those?
I have.
Yeah.
I don't want some today.
You don't want any today, huh? No. She's just shaking her head over there.
Never. I know where they come from.
That's the problem, is when you know where they come from, it does make it
Yeah.
difficult for some people, but
Yep.
I don't know. I like them. I think they're great. Understanding nature takes more than reading a book, watching a documentary, or seeing something else on social media. It really takes living and breathing it. It really takes you understanding the cycle of life and death. To see something live and give birth, and to see something die, even though you try your hardest to help it survive. Well, farmers and ranchers are more connected with this kind of nature than almost anyone else in the world. And they produce beef, chicken, pork, and other meats for people to enjoy. They raise these for profit, and that's what we as Americans and around the world end up eating. But there are many parts of an animal that we don't end up eating on a typical basis. As Americans, sometimes we let our mind get in the way of something that could be flavorful, and instead we make it something bad just because of where it comes from on the animal. So maybe we should expand our horizons and try new foods and new things, because a lot of them do taste good. So what do you think? Would you try Rocky Mountain oysters cooked in this manner or any manner? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, I'm Trinity Vandenaker. God bless.